welcome to part 6 of step 2 of choosing your college, your university. Um, I'm probably going to cover 3 in this video because I don't really have much to say about any of these. Um, Number 8, graduation rate. Whenever you apply to FAFSA, I think this is really useful. Like for example, here are universities I applied to and put on my FAFSA. They have this thing that says graduation rate. So they basically say what is the percentage of people who graduate from that school. Obviously, as the school is more prestigious, the more they retain their students and the more they graduate their students. So, not picking on SFA or anything like that, but SFA is not essentially the most prestigious school in the country. So, they have a 41% graduation rate, but they do retain 71% of their students. So, what that means is probably the school, it's not essentially always the school, it's probably just sometimes the students. Just 41% of them tend to graduate, which is not such something that's good, but like as long as you are focused on graduating, it's fine. But universities like Notre Dame, Tulane, Colgate, Fordham, University of Michigan, UT, you can see they all have pretty high graduation rates. Probably has something to do with the students, but probably the school as well. The school probably does a good job of helping its students with their academic needs, etc. When you go to university's page, sometimes they'll say it themselves. Happy birthday, Pedro. Um, for example, here in UT's page, and I'm sorry I keep using UT, it's just I really did like UT. Here, I won't be able to go there, but so they have here, they have a 95% retention rate, and I really like this because we need to come to the reality that most of us, although we go into Victory believing that we will graduate in 2 years, after we get our associates from our university, most of us probably take 4 years anyways, and possibly even 6. So here it says that 52% of our students graduate in 4 years and 80% graduate in 6 years. You may think that math doesn't make sense, but it has something to do with like the college class size. But yeah, like even though we graduate our associates from Victory, it does not guarantee that we will graduate with our bachelor's in 2 years. Like we'll probably end up taking 4 years anyways. So keep that in mind. What was the next thing? So flexible scheduling hours, scheduling options. I think this is really important because you want to be able to go to a school who will have the classes that you need available. I don't know if you remember, but when you started applying your junior year, and if you're not a junior yet, well, you will have this experience. Whenever you're looking through the course catalog of Lone Star, you will notice that most of the classes that they have on their course catalog is either not offered in the time that you have available, or it's just not offered at all that semester. So most universities, and this is Colgate's page, will have this thing that says like course offerings. And so, for example, if I'm an astronomy major, and I'm looking for astronomy classes for the fall 2017 semester, I really don't mind if it's any of these days and any of this time. I'll list the courses, and I can see there's very few astronomy classes offered. But if I want to do biology, for example, I can see there's a ton of classes offered for biology, and that's really, really important. You want to make sure the university you're going to has available classes for your major, because especially if you go to a big university like UT or A&M, they have thousands and thousands of students. So you're competing against a lot of people for the classes that are available. And if you go to a really big school, you probably have a lot of competition when it comes to that. Also, why kind of later on I'll talk about school size, but that's also really important. And yeah, so class size, I guess I'll talk about in the next video because I don't have that much time. That's really up to you, to be honest. You went to Victory, so you know what it feels like to be in a small class in a small school, but that really, really depends on you. And I'll talk about that in the next video because, as I mentioned, it has to do with competition. It has to do with like standing out, etc. But yeah, I'll talk about it in the next video.